Talking about the field goal percentage in the first half. Kegler, normally, if he doesn't have that Dylan Haynes, a 6'11" guy in there bothering your shot, that would probably be made the first time around. But it's the effect he has on you. He's in there. He's blocked, what do we say, maybe 3-4 shots? And he's affected a lot of others. Yep. There he is again, affecting. Didn't get a block. There he is again. So he affected both of those shots without getting credit for anything.
Walser couldn't follow the miss. So both teams coming up empty on their opening possession. Here in the second half. Now Haynes trying to range, just grazed the front rim. John up with it for Ludden.
CBA still in man. That's, like I said, this point in the year, it's probably all Buddy's had time to work on in practice. And there's a block.
Walser challenged Haynes, and the freshman had it sent emphatically out of bounds. At least block number, 4 or 5 we up to?
At least. And you can't just turn. You're going to learn. You just can't turn and expect to get that shot off against him if he's on you. If you can feel his presence, you got to use some quickness to get by him or extend him or use the rim. There he is again. So there's 2 right there in the first minute and a half, not even of this half.
Block on Rogers, out of bounds to Ludden, but just 8 seconds left on the shot clock. I think Haynes is sending a message. You're not going to get anything inside here. Hit something. Rogers, the force. Haynes had a chance to grab the rebound, but couldn't.
I think from the look on his face, he's saying they knocked it out of my hands. Yeah, and it's been corrected.
Also saying shot clock violation, so which came first?
That's right, it didn't hit the rim, did it?
Off the backboard, but no rim.
Right. Ludden in man-to-man.
Kevin Bailey in here, who rarely played in the first half, picked up 3 fouls in the first 2 minutes. Barely saw him. Thrown away by Russo.
The receiver was not looking for that one.
And taken away by Morgan. We're still stuck on 19.
So 2 minutes in. There was you had 2 trips down the floor just now without a shot. A steal, a turnover, or something like that. So it's been that kind of a battle.
Morgan puts the head down, and a blocking foul called as Hackett hits the floor.
Close call. Watch and see. Form your own opinion. It didn't. That was one of those plays where you can tell someone just standing there to draw the charge or just in the statue position. I think Hackett was just in a defensive position, kind of just standing there, almost like he was minding his own business, and he got ran into.
Takes out the foul though as Morgan hits the first, and CBA has its first lead of the night. Make it a 2-point lead. Brothers scored the last 2 of the first half and the first 2 of the second half.
In a 1-3-1 now. See the trap right there?
Deflected by Bailey. Tapped ahead by Full, and now Haynes left it short. Kegler with the rebound.
That outside shot, he's kind of dropped down on the heel of his hand, down low. He doesn't seem to roll it up off his fingertips too much.
Kegler goes coast to coast and picks up a foul call. He takes it right at Dylan Haynes.
I was going to say, right at him. Why not? If I make contact with his body, maybe I got a shot at getting to the foul line, and he did.
Ted Donnelly says if he keeps progressing like he has, Kegler, the sophomore, is on his way to becoming a Division I player. Says he's still growing, and he's also improved his jumping ability. We talk about a guy who led the team in scoring last year as a freshman, and he certainly looks even better this year.
Well, when I first watched him, looked at him, you could just tell he's got the build for it. He's got the physical tools right there.
1 out of 2 for Kegler. Bailey inside Russo.
Backdoor back screen. See, CBA ran a nice offensive set there. Now, there was no struggle that time on offense. That's what you see early in the year now. You see CBA kids came back, got the lead, getting a little confidence, and they ran their offense a lot more smoothly.
Bailey, couple of takeaways. Kegler got the block shot. Haynes trying to rebound his own miss, and a jump ball called, and Ludden will get it back. So 2 takeaways by Bailey, and they couldn't convert either one into points.
And that hurts CBA. They played a great defensive set. They get the steal. They get it to their 6'11" guy, 1 foot from the basket, and the rim gets in the way. You know?
And then Haynes gets caught out top defending Kegler, and he goes right around him and scores.
Right by him. It's a tough turn of events for CBA and a great turn of events. Ludden has to feel like they dodged a little bullet right there.
Tough shot. Russo fade away from the elbow.
He's starting to heat up.
Confident kid for a sophomore, very mature for his age, says Buddy Waplinski.
Well, said earlier too, on the CBA team, he's probably the best creator, individual creator they've got. There's a little soccer play right there.
A kick by Aaron Morgan.
Does he play soccer?
Not that I know of, but certainly looked like that was an instinctive move.
You know, you always say good hands in basketball, and good feet right there.
Walzer challenges Haynes again, left it short. Another shot altered by the 6'11" senior. Zach Walzer, the freshman starter, get a little lesson on what it's like to play against a guy taller than he is.
Now see, there's the first time I've really seen Haynes leave his feet and get way out of position. No need to do it out there, right?
Another shot altered. Walzer gets down on the floor to pick up the rebound, though. Now 3 to shoot. And the shot clock expires again, so Ludden, 2 shot clock violations here in the third quarter.
That's bulletin board stuff for the locker room. You know, your defensive score. That's how you score points on the defensive chart. What was?
Bailey with a wardrobe malfunction over there, tying the left sneaker.
Lace it up.
Secondary, let's get organized. Get on the side.
The last time we saw CBA run their offense, they got a nice backdoor cut for an easy layup. They're into it again.
10 on the shot clock for the brothers.
Now the shot, you're right, becomes a factor.
Russo cut off by Hackett. Baseline drive, overlay, and a shot clock expiration is full missing. Both teams really digging in defensively.
Defensively, yes. Making it
full
hard.
Body and Kegler, and they're letting them play. There was some contact down there. Well, Full is a football player. Kegler could be.
Well, this is, like you say, if you say they're letting them play, okay. But everybody's getting their hands on the basketball defensively all around. And that's what's made it so hard for the offenses to get settled in.
Well, Kegler drew the triple team. Hackett had a wide open look and couldn't convert. Ludden still trailing after scoring just 3 points in the quarter. Despite that, they're only down 3.
Okay, CBA was in that 1-3-1 for a while. Now they're back into their man.
Hackett gets a screen. Missed again out top.
And you see where Ludden will get out and run. Again, we noticed this in the first half. CBA will kick into this offensive set now. There's that back screen.
Bailey gets loose and Haynes found him.
See, that's why CBA doesn't want to. They feel like they really can't run the break, so they're much more content to run that half-court offense.
8 points in the quarter for the brothers to just 3 for Bishop Ludden. The lead grows to 5, and now Bailey picking up the foul, his 4th. Going after the ball as Matt Rogers recovered.
Yeah.
He picked up 3 in the first 2 minutes, so I guess.
And he got immediately off the floor and just didn't look over at the, wait for the horn, didn't look at the scorer's table, and didn't even look at the coach, just headed for the back of the bench. He knew.
As far away from Buddy as he could get.
Yeah, well, he knows that's 4. So I'm coming out anyway. I know that.
Subs also in for Bishop Ludden. Zach Harding and Antoine Montgomery in a 5-second count. Montgomery turns it over out top.
You know, I said earlier about 24-second violations being a point on the defensive chart. Well, you look at the offensive and the defensive charts of this game. If the coaches are keeping such charts, the defensive numbers are way higher than the offensive numbers. And the fouls are mounting up there a little bit, as you can see. Morgan and Bruner with 3 each, as well as the aforementioned Mr. Bailey, who is taking a rest on the bench.
Russo into double figures now with 11. Kegler 11 for Ludden.
Good hustle back. A 1-3-1 full makes a great hustle off the weak side, because that was going to be a layup for Ludden.
Just 3 points in the quarter for Pat Donnelly's Gaelic Knights.
You know, when you run a trapping like they were in that 1-3-1 and you overplay and trap, you've got to have big time hustle off the weak side to prevent any easy gimmies, and that was one example.
Another miss. Kegler kept it alive, and Hackett now with shot clock off. Gaelic Knights 1 for 11 in the third quarter. And now the foul called on Haynes.
The foul, I don't think, is on Haynes. Haynes gets, it's on Russo, I think.
Russo?
Yeah, Russo gets the foul, and Haynes, he was upset. I don't think it's on him.
1 for 11 from the field for Ludden here in the third quarter. And at least 2 blocks for Dylan Haynes. And he's altered probably, what, 3 or 4 others?
A lot more than that. And that would have been if maybe he's upset because the foul took away his block. Coach, I would have had 12 blocks.
I know.
But we committed so many fouls, they couldn't get the block.
He's got to be up to 7 or 8, I would think. Hackett gets the roll on the second.
Yep.
So the Gaelic Knights have scored 4 points here in the third.
And they step up the defensive pressure with a trap. Drop back in, looks like a 2-3.
Brothers break it. And now 10 seconds left in the quarter. Chance to extend the 6-point lead.
I think they saw enough of the 2 backcourt layups that CBA got, and they're going to sit back in the zone.
Hackett, he's in! He had it online, but a little bit off to the right. And so we go to the fourth quarter with the brothers of CBA up by 6. 29-23. You're right, more of a football score here at the Carrier Dome. CBA brothers are less than 8 minutes away now from their 13th consecutive win in the Holy War, holding Bishop Ludden to 8% shooting here in the second half.
And nobody from the 3-point line. How about that?
It has been a lot of defense.
Look at the turnovers. 14 and 16, pretty even, but I mean 30 turnovers. It's that defensive pressure. And, you know, like you said, they're letting them play a little bit too, which always helps the defense if you let them play, because you can get away with just a little more.
That one a long 2. The brothers extend their lead to 8 from the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. Kegler drops it in, plus the foul.
And there's an example of a kid who figured it out. He's got skills to figure it out. He decides he'll just take it right at him and then bounce off him and create his space, and has the athletic ability to find the backboard and put it in.
Dan Kegler, 13 of the 25 for Ludden so far. Free throw coming.
Yeah, they're looking at Cameron Littlejohn. Maybe he got a little blood or a little cut maybe, and when they're thinking of taking him out.
Yeah, it looks like
yeah, you see a little spot there.
So the Holy War back together again here, first time in a couple seasons.
No, watch how Kegler goes at him, bounces into him, and then bounces off him and out. See how he's sort of like a fadeaway there? So, you know, after having the kid harass you for 3 quarters, you finally figure out I got to do it a different way, and that shows your kid's got some good basketball sense.
So Littlejohn will have to come out for the time being. He's replaced by Matt Rogers. Rogers and Zach Harding in the backcourt now for the Gaelic Knights. Kegler double-double. 14 and 10 now. Back to a 5-point lead. as he completes a three-point play.
Glad they didn't have that blood rule when I was in high school. We didn't have a trainer, we didn't have anything. We had a first aid kit probably. It hadn't been opened in 4 years. You'd open it up and everything in it was dried out. So, but, you know, times have changed now for the better, obviously.
Haynes not been able to connect on a jumper all night. Hackett quickly the other way, scores! And it's a three-point game.
And there's where Ludden has been at their best all game long, when they can get out and run.
And Hackett, their best open court player. Just the guy you want with it. Blocked on the other end by Kegler.
And that's not CBA's best. See, they're getting into this now. And it's helping Ludden.
Behind the back and a push called as Rogers had Haynes on his back. I think it was Russo that picked up the foul.
It just so happens, like you say, that's what makes this rivalry even neater, because it goes all the way back to all of that. It's kind of mind-boggling. To me, it's mind-boggling that you get these two guys that have been coaching that long. I mean, you look around and you
25, 28 years.
You don't see that many high school coaches staying in the same place for that many years. You just don't see it.
Buddy's even got his own court, name on his court up at Christian Brothers Academy.
Yeah, we got to talk to Buddy about that. He's also the AD, you know, so. Who ordered the
made that decision?
Yeah, who ordered the guy to come in and paint that on the court anyway?
Well, speaking of that, talking to him about playing Henninger last night and CBA tonight, or Ludden tonight, he said, yeah, I got to talk to the athletic director. That guy's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, it was him, of course. Actually, that Henninger game was supposed to be on Friday, but they moved it back a day because JD was going to play in the tournament. They had to leave town. They played down at a tournament, was it in the D.C., I think, area?
Yes.
This weekend.
They played DeMatha.
DeMatha. And
Kavanaugh Coleman got in foul trouble.
Got beaten pretty badly in that game.
Though the two big kids didn't play much, I guess, according to what I read in the paper anyway.
Well, that's a good idea. You bring him down there and then the officials put him on the bench.
That would have been my concern if I was coaching. We drove all the way down here for this. But, you know, you certainly, usually in those tournaments, nobody wants to do that with the marquee players. You want the marquee players in the game, you know. If you're claiming there was home cooking, is that what you're claiming?
I'm claiming that maybe they should have put the whistles away after they picked up a couple. Let them stay on the floor.
Ooh.
Kegler.
A little back in there. I thought maybe a little traveling music there, but he gathered himself and put it in.
How about the comeback here by Ludden? 9 straight points. And they've retaken the lead here.
It's tempo. Ludden's defense here has changed the tempo. I think Pat got, as I was talking about, that nice offensive sets the CBA was running. I think Pat got sick of seeing that and said, we're defensively, we're not letting it happen.
And Kegler has also changed the tempo on both ends. Big swat here, and then
he says to the big guy, Haynes, you can block shots, I'll show you how to do it too. You know, I mean, that's at least 3 for him.
Offensive end, he's got 16 points to lead all scorers, including the last 2 that put Ludden on top. Now Russo, first 3 of the night for either squad. Charlie drops home the go-ahead bucket. He's got 14 and a 2-point CBA lead. I think Kegler likes getting it out top with Haynes on his back and then go right by him.
Yeah, it gives him some room to operate and lose him.
Wide open look for Harding. Didn't get the roll. Kegler, though, right up and over Haynes. Kegler ties it up. He's got 18.
Now, this looks more like a little bit of the intensity of our Ludden CBA games.
Just took him a little while to get warmed up, I guess. Look at that. Field goals made and turnovers. They're even for CBA. And another 3 for Russo on this side.
And that was deep.
Well, Charlie picking a great time for CBA.
He answered back, because Ludden fought back, got the lead, and CBA jumped right back with 2 big threes by Russo.
They're giving Harding that shot.
Just
missed it earlier.
If you're CBA, you just got to know where Kegler is. He's the guy that's really hurting him.
There he is. Trying to create some space, and he's taken away by Morgan.
He drew a crowd, though. They knew they were looking for him. They were thinking the same thing I was. It's going to get into him, and when he gets it, we got to get after him.
Russo again.
Yeah, going away from the basket, not so good. He was sliding. His momentum was carrying him out to the left and away from the basket. The other two were dead on, which was better, set up for the shot.
He's the guy Buddy called for, though, to shoot it.
Yeah.
Keep going to that well.
That's okay, but just get yourself set so you're squared up to the hoop better than that.
Hackett did that a couple times early in the game. He and Russo both shuffling the feet after the catch, and the turnover gives it back to CBA, but Pat Donnelly calls time first.
The defense has been so strong that it does force you into mistakes like that, too, because you're hurrying yourself.
Well, Charlie Russo, a couple of big threes for CBA as the brothers try and hold off the Gaelic Knights. 3:20 left.
Quiz for you, though.
Down to it.
Two for 8 combined. Who's got the 2?
Charlie.
Atta baby, I knew you knew it.
That's right, and he's got them.
But you do get
in the last couple minutes.
You do get the feeling that Ludden is not a team that's perimeter shooting team at this point from what we've seen so far. And it goes back again to what I say. Where they're at their best is when they've stoked up the defensive pressure in forced fast break situations. They've looked much better than CBA in that. And when CBA tries to match them in that, it hasn't been good for CBA. CBA looks better when they're just able to carefully and smoothly run their half-court offense.
Well, he's got a couple of pretty good offensive players inside with Kegler and Walzer, but with Haynes in there, it's going to be a problem for anybody that comes up against him.
Nice backdoor cut. There it is.
Cut. Bailey rises and
exactly
scores.
what we just said, isn't it? That when they take their time and they run a few cuts and a few sets, they get a good shot.
Great pass from Haynes too, huh?
The tale of two different teams. Yes, it was. Buddy said he's a real good passer. Now they see it right there. Nice bounce pass.
Little John wearing number 40 now. She had to change shirts. Got a little blood on the number 10.
Oh, good catch. Is it a technical foul?
I would assume he checked in the table and told him. You see that last night?
Yes.
The SU game. Ever seen that before?
I couldn't believe it. I've so rarely seen that. You might see that at an AAU game or something where they put somebody on the team or a grammar school game where the coach doesn't have many people helping him. He's got a 7th grade kid keeping the book for him. But where you got your names on the jerseys and you got 18 athletic directors traveling on the bus with you, how the heck can that happen? I was amazed.
Fortunately, it was not a 1 or 2 point game. So
didn't make any difference.
Didn't make a difference, but unusual to say the least. Here's Walzer. Gives it to Kegler. Challenges Haynes, and he either blocked it or altered it. The foul called.
It was funny because I got thinking about it while there was a dead spot in the game and I was watching. I'll tell you later.
I think they gave this foul to Walzer, pushing off, going up for the ball.
It's a good place to put it, and then over the back of Haynes. Yeah.
So under 2 to go. CBA trying to milk that clock. Up by 5.
I was going to say, when I coached grammar school, you used to just, before you went out, you went right around the room and had everybody get up and tell you your number. You had to do it when you coached alone. But not when you got such a big support staff.
You don't think you need to do that still. Oh, what a big shot by Bailey. Played very little in the first half after picking up 3 quick fouls. That may be the biggest shot of the game
and another
to 8.
Nice half-court possession by CBA where they took their time and got a good shot.
He scored the last 5 points for CBA. Talk about coming through. Tough opening couple minutes, but a great final 2 minutes for Bailey, and now the miss.
Ludden's going to have to foul now. It's foul time. They can't let him run clock. Can they?
Don't think so. Not a 3-point shooting team as Walzer picks up the foul on Haynes. Pat Donnelly wondering if his guys know who he wants him to foul. He'll call timeout and let him know. 48.7 left. Brothers with 3 threes here in the final quarter. to help hold off Ludden. Gaelic Knights had scored 9 straight points here to take the lead, but CBA coming back from outside. Let's take a look at our turning point of the game, brought to you by your neighborhood UPS stores. With 12 locations throughout Central New York, your UPS store is the place for you to turn for all your packaging and shipping needs. And it's Charlie Russo, again, heating up.
Squared up nicely on that one. And again, squared right up. And boy, you hit the nail right in the head. That was the turning point. Because what a nice time for him to finally break out and hit the 2 threes.
And the three-point shooting by half, Ludden still to connect, where CBA's gotten 3 of them, all in the fourth quarter, 2 by Russo and the 1 by Bailey just moments ago to make it an 8-point game. And that's after spotting Ludden the first 8 points, remember, so they have really come back strong. Tied it up just as the first half expired at 19 after a missed free throw by Ludden, or by CBA rather, and well, they've kind of gone on from there.
Yeah, you'd have to look back at this point now. CBA right now has good control over this game, although with almost 50 seconds, 8 points is not insurmountable. They're going to get fouled there, and they're going to have to make the free throws.
They go after Aaron Morgan. And that is only the
oh my goodness, I forgot. Holy cow. We're only on 5 team fouls, right?
That is the 5th, yep, so they got 2 more before they can even.
First half they were up to 10.
Yeah,
11.
I think it was CBA.
They were in the bonus in the first quarter, weren't they?
Because Bailey hit 3 in the first 2 minutes.
No, right in the beginning of the second quarter, they turned, I think, into the bonus. So now we're at 6. Okay.
Next one will be a 1-on-1. So they get it to Russo.
Yep.
And Charlie fouled by Ben Hackett.
So not bad by Ludden. It cost them 5 seconds to waste those 2 fouls to get into the shooting situation.
Russo 1 for 2 at the line. 17 points tonight on 7 of 11 shooting.
Only a sophomore.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I mean, by the time he's a senior, we'll all be wondering, why is he still here?
So when he's a senior and all these young kids from Ludden are seniors, they'll be back at each other again.
Hackett to the hoop, plus the foul.
That was not
on Bailey, and that is his 5th, and he may as well just keep running.
Just keep running right by Buddy. I wouldn't talk to him, kid. I'd just keep moving.
Wow.
Well, here's the worst part about it, as we well know, either grab him and don't let him shoot or let him go. But don't stop the clock like that. And give him a chance for an extra point.
This will be the 19th free throw attempt for Bishop Ludden. CBA has attempted 9.
In any event, it's 6. So you've got it down to, if you can hold them defensively in your Bishop Ludden, you've got them down to a 2-possession game, and that's very doable in 36 seconds.
So what do you do on, let's say you make it, it's a 5-point game, you try to get the steal for about what, 10, 15 seconds and then foul?
I think you foul right away. You're in the foul mode, let's just do it.
1-on-1?
Yeah, because you can't guarantee you're going to make your first shot at the other end either without another possession. So I think you already talked about fouling, and who you want to foul, just do it.
That's what they did. And this time they got Alex Brunner, who is Bailey's replacement, sophomore guard.
So, again, it always does in these games, comes down to making the free throws. Had they made their free throws the last time and not allowed that breakaway, the game we probably would have said is over. So there's still a flicker here if they miss their free throws.
Great lacrosse player, Brunner. Not able to draw even nets.
Nope.
On the free throw.
If they hit a 3, look out.
They haven't hit one yet. Be a great time for it.
And Ludden has 4 timeouts left. Okay, so they have everything in place to mount a miracle comeback. I mean, they got all the goods they need. They just got to make the shots.
Just need a good shooter.
Got to make a 3, and they haven't done one yet, have they? Turnover. That could seal it right there.
Little John turns it over. Now they finally get to Haynes to foul him. So tough possession there. Now they have to hope for another miss on the last 1-and-1.
The steal, the turnover, whatever you want to call it, took the life out of them a little bit because in the disappointment of the whole thing, they wasted a good 10 seconds or more before they fouled. It knocks them back on their heels. They forget they're supposed to be fouling. It kind of sucks all the air out of that comeback mode. Well, that's two air balls. That's two air balls.
2 in a row, not even close.
No.
Well, I guess Buddy knows what they are.
Holy,
he throws his hands up.
Buddy's like, I can't believe it. And they missed one before. Remember we talked about the one before that? That's 3 in a row.
Front ends. Here's Hackett to the hoop. Explosion. 14.1 quick timeout. It's a 4-point game. The only thing that's
now I'll just say this: the only way that you know they're gonna foul, but the only way they could maybe lose is if they turn it over or don't get it in.
And they foul Russo, and Pat Donnelly, hand on his forehead. Probably not the guy he wanted him to foul.
No, but you can draw it up all you want, and the kid gets free, and he's. They get it to him. What are you going to do? You got to foul him. You can't say, okay, I'll wait till he gets rid of it because you're going to lose 5 or 6 seconds doing that. So it frustrates the coach a little bit.
Sometimes there's a reason the guy's the star player of the team because he can get free in that situation.
It's like coming into a timeout and some guy's lighting you up and who's got that guy? You know what's he doing? The kid that's got him's like, I got him. I'm trying.
He's just good.
I'm trying.
Hackett is fouled out. 11 points. And really sparking this little comeback here for the Gaelic Knights. Will it be enough? Russo a chance to put some more distance between the brothers and their rivals. Swishing the first, he'll get one more. Charlie now 18 points to tie Kegler for game high honors. Another
nice stroke.
Where the last 4 shots didn't hit the rim. 2 didn't hit anything. Those 2 hit nothing but net. Another Gaelic Knights turnover.
Yeah, I just felt that there was a little bit of life until they made that one turnover down here at the other end. You could just feel like that was like, kids know, that was our last shot.
Like the bubble burst, right?
Yeah.
Rogers, competitive sort, still going to foul and
well, I like this.
Yet.
I hate to see these games where, somebody decides that we're just going to dribble out the last 20 or 30 seconds of the game because we can't come back. Play to the whistle. Play to the end. None of this nonsense of standing there and shaking hands while the clock's still running. I detest that. I really do not like that. So I like seeing this. That I don't care if we don't have a chance to come back and it's impossible to score as many points. We're practicing for when it's only going to be a 2-point game and we have to foul and we know what we got to do. You got to practice game situations for the future, especially when it's only your second game of the year. Back. What's their record now? 0-1 and .5?
Yeah, pretty much. They've got that win over Solve. They just can finish it off.
They got a half a game in their hip pocket there.
Well, they may have played only about a half a game tonight in the estimation of the coach.
Like baseball standings, you're a game and a half behind now.
There you go. Great start for Bishop Ludden, but CBA with a strong finish, and the brothers have now won 13 consecutive games in this series, 46-39. The classic. Let's take a look at our players of the game, brought to you by Beacon Federal. Looking for a better banking relationship? Make the change to Beacon today. For the Bishop Ludden Gaelic Knights in defeats, Dan Kegler, sophomore, 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 block shots. Double-double in a tremendous effort. On the other side, Charlie Russo for CBA, also a sophomore. Hit a couple of big threes in the fourth quarter to help the brothers take the lead and pull away. 21 points for Russo, and he now joins us here at the scores table. Congratulations, Charlie.
Thank you.
Your first Holy War at the Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
What kind of night was this?
Oh, it was a great night. Just being able to play in the Dome is such a great opportunity. And to be able to perform like that is awesome.
And you guys bounced back from a tough loss last night at Henninger. How'd you do that emotionally and physically?
But we learned a lot from Henninger. I mean, they were quicker and faster, but I think we really got to come in here and show what we can really do. So I'm glad we could come out here and play.
Yeah, Charlie, I was going to ask you that the first half's kind of ugly. Things were going real good, sloppy. Did you feel like, was it the defense, like when you were playing your 1-3-1 a little bit and you sort of slowed them down a little? Were you trying to slow them down and then get them to work on the other end when you ran your offense a little slower?
Yeah, definitely wanted to do that. On the 1-3-1, we want them to move the ball so we can get in the passing lanes and definitely make them slow their offense down. And then we, on our offense, just got to run it in second.